Hello everyone, I am Ankit. In this video, we will see the concept of default argument and syntax of built-in functions. To understand the concept of default argument, we have to mention the user-defined function because default argument is a function related to user-defined function. So first of all, let's start with PHP delimiter. Inside this delimiter, I am defining one function named sum. I am passing two arguments, number 1 and number 2, and inside this function I will add the two parameters and store the answer into answer variable. And I'll display my answer into the function itself. Let's call this function now. I am calling this function with two values 10 and 20. Let's check the output. So output is showing answer 30. So this works good as long as I pass the sufficient number of arguments for the function. But what if I pass only one value and the number of parameters are 2? Obviously it will show me some warning or notice. The warning says missing argument 2 for sum, right? And inside function it is also showing one notice undefined variable number 2. So what happened? There were two parameters into the sum function and we passed value only for one parameter. That's why this thing happened. So what can we do in such situation? So we can define a default argument, means we can define a default value for the argument if in case there is no value passed for that particular parameter. So how we can define default argument? Just we have to write the equal to after name of the parameter inside function definition and we have to mention the value. So here I am defining default value 0 for second argument number 2. So for second argument I have mentioned the default value. When this default value will be considered in case there is no value passed for the number 2 variable, in that case this value will be considered. So as you can see I have only passed 10 value which will be assigned to number 1 variable but for number 2 variable does not have any value passed for it. So in this case default value 0 will be assigned to number 2 variable. So number 1 variable will have value 10 and number 2 variable will have value 0. So our answer will be 10 plus 0, 10, right? The answer is 10. So this is how default argument works. But default argument will only work if you do not pass value to the parameter. For example, suppose I am passing value 20 for $2 variable, means $2 parameter. In this case, this default value will be ignored and 20 will be assigned to $2 variable. So our answer will be 10 plus 20 means 30. Let's check it. So our answer is 30. So this is how you can use the concept of default argument. One more instruction, that you must mention all the default arguments at last. Let me explain what I mean to say. Suppose I am mentioning $2 equal to 0, means default parameter in first place, and then I am writing $1, and suppose I pass this 10 value. So what will happen, what I wanted to do is I wanted to mention the 10 value for the $1 parameter, because I have already mentioned $2 parameter as default argument. But as I have placed it in first allocation, first place, this 10 will be assigned to $2, and again $1 will not be assigned any value, so we will get an error, missing argument 2, the same error we were shown earlier. So this is the reason that you have to mention all of your default arguments, means default values, at last position, right? So now it is very clear that 10 have been passed for the $1 parameter and nothing has been passed for the $2 parameter. So default value will be assigned to $2 and our answer will be 10. So this is how default arguments work. Let us now see what built-in function in PHP is and understand the syntax of it. Built-in functions are predefined functions in PHP, means they are already been declared and you just have to call them to use. For example, there is a function in PHP called strlen, which returns the length of the string passed to it as an argument. Another function is sqrt, which returns the square root of a number passed as an argument. There are hundreds of such built-in functions in PHP available to use. Now, you don't have to remember all of them, rather you can search the internet as and when they are needed. The most common place where you can find the information about these functions is PHP manual or website php.net. But you should know how the syntax is read to understand what specific function does. So let's see something about the syntax of built-in functions. So here is the syntax of function strlen. As I said earlier, it returns the length of string given. This is name of function and this is an argument that it takes. So it takes only one argument of data type string. This indicates the return type of function. The length of the string will be number, so the return type is integer. Let us see another example. Here is a syntax of function in_array. It tells you whether given value is in array or not. So as you can see, this function takes 3 arguments. First argument reads needle, which refers to the value to be searched for. Mixed data type refers that argument can be of any data type. The second argument reads haystack, which refers to the array in which needle to be searched. So needle and haystack are common names given to the object to be searched and in which object to search respectively. The third argument has been put into square brackets, means it is optional. This argument specifies whether function should compare data type along with value or not. By default, it is false, which has been shown by using the syntax of default argument we already have discussed. You can set it to true if you want to compare value and data type both. And at last, the function returns either true or false, which is a Boolean data type as mentioned here in the syntax. So hope you liked the video. Keep learning, keep growing, stay happy. Goodbye. These are some important questions from this video. They will be helpful to you either you are taking examination as a student or appearing in an interview. So go through them and try to find the answers by yourself. All the best.